What is going on, YouTube? I am Lamont at Large, and today I am at the Circle A food store here in Clearwater, Florida. I'm here to talk about the July 19th, 2018 Stand Your Ground shooting that involved a 28-year-old man by the name of Markeis Mcglockton. So on that afternoon, July 19th of 2018, 28-year-old Markeis Mcglockton was here at the Circle A food store with his girlfriend, Brittany Jacobs. They had 3 children together. They were in the car. They pulled up in their Chrysler 200 and they parked right here, as you can see, in this parking space that says handicap parking only. And you can see that it is a handicap parking space. It's painted blue. So Brittany Jacobs is driving. Markeis Mcglockton is in the passenger seat. He comes out of the car with his 5-year-old son, Markeis Jr., and they walk into this Circle Food Mart right here. As they walk in, a man comes from his truck right about here, approaches Brittany's car and starts chastising her about her parking in a handicapped space with no handicap placard. A 47-year-old man by the name of Michael Drejka. So as you can see in the video, he starts waving his finger and yelling at her and telling her, "Why are you parking in a handicapped spot?" And of course, Markeis Mcglockton, he's in here with his 5-year-old son, and he comes out here and notices this man is chastising his girlfriend, yelling at her. And as you can see from this camera right here, it's shooting everything what's going on. So Markeis comes out of the store, sees what's going on, and he immediately starts charging up and pushes Drejka very, very hard down to the ground. Now, when you see the video and you see Markeis push Drejka to the ground, he starts very, very subtly pulling up his pants, and he's going to advance after him. And as he pulls up his pants, Drejka reaches in his waistband and pulls out a .40 caliber Glock pistol. And you're going to have to watch the video a few times to see it. But when Markeis sees him pull out that gun on him, he starts slowly turning away from him because he doesn't want any problems. This guy is armed. He doesn't want to get shot. And as he's turning around, Drejka fires the gun one time, striking Markeis in the chest. And as you see in the video, Markeis grabs his chest, turns around, and starts kind of walking really fast into the store. And according to eyewitnesses in the store, he starts applying pressure to his own bullet wound to his chest. And then the blood is just gushing everywhere. He eventually faints, passes out. They called 911. I believe it took paramedics almost 20 minutes to get here. By the time they came here, they took him to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. All that right there over a parking space. So the police detectives, they come to the scene. They take Michael Drejka down to the station and they interview him. They say, "Well, what happened?" And he basically tells them exactly as it played out on the video in front of you. This guy pushed me on the ground. I was in fear of my life, so I took out my gun and I defended myself. I shot him. So they told Drejka, "Okay, you can leave, but your gun stays here for, evidence. We need to process it," or what have you. The very next day, the Pinellas County Sheriff, Bob Gualtieri, who also happens to be a lawyer, so he's not a dumb guy, he says, "Okay, well, Florida is a stand your ground state, and this shooting falls under the quote-unquote stand your ground law, or the Castle Doctrine. so we won't be filing any charges. This was a justified shooting. Now, when you look at the stand your ground law, it states that you can meet force with force if you feel that you are in grave and imminent danger. Michael Drejka felt that he was in grave and imminent danger. He was defending himself. He was in fear of his life. So he had to shoot Markeis Mcglockton. However, if you look at the video, when Markeis walks up to Drejka and pushes him, okay, in that video right there, Markeis is the aggressor. He sees a man verbally assaulting his wife. He doesn't know this guy. He could be a creep. He could be a rapist, whatever. He's the aggressor. He goes and he pushes him. When Drejka falls on the ground, he reaches in his waistband, pulls out a gun. Markeis slowly is starting to back up and turn around. Now Michael Drejka is the aggressor. So the castle doctrine, it gets thrown out the window, because you see in the video, he doesn't want any problems. He doesn't want to get shot. And 2.5 seconds later, after Markeis pushes Drejka to the ground, he shoots him one time in the chest. This shooting was very politicized. You had everybody from BLM to the NAACP to the old race pimp himself, Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, sticking their turkey necks out, trying to get some of the limelight of this shooting. And it becomes a very heated debate between, is this actually a real law? Was this actually, was Michael Drejka standing his ground? Or was Markeis Mcglockton turning around and, in fear of his own life at that time, was wanting to flee the scene? So even though the sheriff's office didn't want to go ahead with pressing charges, the Florida State Attorney, Bernie McCabe, went ahead about 3 weeks later after the shooting on August 13, 2018. He filed manslaughter charges against Michael Drejka. So they arrested him. They take him to jail. So Drejka, to his quote-unquote benefit, which turned out to not be his benefit, during an interview, he's crying on camera. Is he crying because he feels sorry because he shot and killed somebody? No. He's crying because he misses his wife and his pets. So that would later come back to bite him in the butt. So he gets arrested. He's in jail. And just about a little over a year after they filed the manslaughter charges, the trial starts on August 19th, 2018. It's only a 4-day trial. Murder trials at the longest will take about 10 days. So this one took about 4 days, and a jury found him guilty of manslaughter. And a few weeks later after that, he was sentenced, I believe it was in September, to 20 years in the Florida State Department of Corrections, which is where he currently is today. You really have to go look at the video, because when you see the video, it's one of those videos that you really should watch about 5 times. I watched it 5 times over. So when you go watch the video, watch it 5 times before you make a definitive judgment on whether this was a stand your ground thing here, or if it was just a manslaughter, or maybe it could have been a murder. Michael Drejka was very well known in the neighborhood to be a hothead. There were several people coming out of the woodwork saying that he had threatened them in the past with his gun. There was 3 different drivers that the police had tracked down who had contacted the police themselves. They didn't track him down. They contacted the police. And they said, yeah, I know that guy. That guy, you know, we had a couple of road rage incidents. He had his gun. He was screaming and threatening to shoot me. So this guy, already a hothead, and my personal opinion, a lot of people are going to say that this case is about race. I don't have any proof of that, simply for the fact the shooter or the killer, whatever you want to call him being white and the victim being black. I don't have any proof of any of that. I feel personally that even if Markeis was white, he still would have shot him. I think this clown, Michael Drejka, was just one of these guys that wanted to be a cop, and he wanted power because of his own inadequacies, his little insignificant life. He wanted to be a big bad lawman, and I believe he was just looking for somebody to shoot. And at the end of the day, the man was killed. He leaves behind 4 kids. She had just found out a few months later, after all that happened, that she was pregnant with her 4th child. And currently, Michael Drejka is locked up right outside of Gainesville in a prison. And not even, I believe, about 2 or 3 months ago, he was attacked in prison. Somebody took a lock and put it in a sock. Yeah, I know, I'm not a poet, that just kind of rhymed. And bashed him upside the head. Michael Drejka required about 5 stitches for that, so that had to hurt. Just like that guy from Max X used to say, oh boy, that had to hurt, right? So he was attacked by a man by the name of Benjamin, I believe his name was Benjamin Smith, who was in prison himself for drug trafficking charges. So I believe that guy sitting in prison for the next 20 years, he'll probably get less time. He'll probably get up for parole pretty soon. Oh, by the way, no, his name is Benjamin Martin. So if you want to send Benjamin Martin a couple bucks for him doing a good deed about smacking that guy upside the head with the lock, they're at the Lancaster Correctional Institute near Gainesville. So if you want to send them $5 for a job well done, so he can get himself a couple honey buns and a bag of coffee, hey, you do you at the end of the day. All right, guys, I am out of here. I'll catch up with you on the next vlog. Be good. Peace out.